For fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 20 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor U4GM Coins. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good, guys? It's Fun and Fire here, back from the video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys what I think is one of the most unstoppable defenses in Madden 20. Now, this defense is going to come out of the big nickel over G formation, what I think is one of the best formations to defend the pass in this game. Now, the player we're going to be running is going to be this strong safety blitz 3. It's going to be a cover 3 shell, but I'm going to show you guys a couple of different ways to adjust out of it and just overall how to utilize the play to its maximum potential. Now, one thing you have to do before heading to this formation is you're going to just switch your packages around. So you guys see the packages is on nothing. I'm just going to flick my right stick to the left once. That's going to take us to the slot cornerback package. That's just going to give you different adjustments and better adjustments for all your defensive backs. Now, like I said, I'm going to come out in the play. I'm just going to run my corner to the wide side like so, and let's just go against a couple of other formations. Let's just start out with a gun bunch. Now, the way that you want to run this play is, first of all, what I like to do always is I'm going to base a line and then I'm going to press. That's just going to bring those corners outside, especially against a bunch. You want that corner out there. Another thing I'm going to do is just pinch my D-line, and right off the bat, you could basically run this stock as a good defense, but what I like to do is I'm going to go ahead put this cornerback in a curl flat, this corner right here that's blitzing. So what I'm going to do is double tap Y for those quick adjustments, press LB, and then I'm going to flick my left stick to the right, put him in a curl flat. Now you guys see we have a seam flat and a curl flat. The way we're going to fix that is simply to just put this player in a hook curl. Now this is going to be the first setup. I have a couple of other setups, like I mentioned earlier, that I'm going to go over, other ways to user who you want. But for this setup, you can actually user this safety like right here. Something you could also do is just shade over the top to get this player in a curl flat as well. This is just basically a stock cover 3. Now, you could also move this linebacker out to defend the flats a little bit easier. Now, a zone I want to talk about is this 3 receiver hook right here that you guys see Fred Warner is on. This is going to be a key zone just because this zone is a very aggressive zone. It's almost like you have 2 users on your field, which is super cool. So we want to leave him stock. We want the computer to use him. He's going to bait on all sorts of routes, drag routes, hitch routes, and routes of that nature. Now, we can use this player, but if they go with sort of a cover 3 beater, you might want to move this safety over so we can defend those better. That's pretty much it. Like I said, this one you're able to use the strong safety. And yeah, let's just go ahead, hike the ball. You guys see everything is pretty much bagged, and we're going to get that instant pressure. Now, the way that I'm sure you guys noticed that D4 got a glitchy shed animation, and the way that you do get those glitchy shed animations is just to pinch your D-line. Now, you're not going to get it every single time, but sometimes when you pinch your D-line, those outside defensive ends will get glitchy shed animations. You don't have to slant outside, you don't have to slant inside, just pinch your D-line and let them go crazy. So again, the steps to this first setup are going to be pinch your D-line, base a line, press, and then you're just going to put your slot corner in a curl flat and just put your user in a hook curl, shade over the top. Like I said, you could do all this extra motion stuff, but that's not necessary. Again, just user the strong safety here. You could even bring him down somewhere right here. Let's go ahead, hike the ball again. We're going to user everything, and you guys see we're going to get that pressure pretty quickly. Now, the 3 receiver hook, you might take a little bit of practice to see what routes he's going to defend depending on the formation, but for the most part, it's not that difficult to find out. I'll go over this setup one last time here. Again, baseline press, pinch your D-line, and go ahead, put this slot corner in a curl flat, put your outside corner in and out. Oh, never mind, don't do that. He's already in an outside third. But again, just put your strong safety in a hook curl. If you don't know how to put him in a hook curl, it's just go on him and press A and the left stick down. We're using him anyways, so you could also go ahead, shade underneath and over the top. That's pretty much just going to put those cloud flats rather than the curl flats. But you guys see, boom, we throw it and everything is boxed. We had our user, and yeah, overall just a great defense. But let's hop into a different setup. As we go on throughout the video, these setups are going to get a little bit more complicated. I actually want to go over a little bit of a simpler setup. I'm not going to go over it briefly. It's not one that I run, but it's something that you could do out of the play. So again, I'm just going to do the thing that you always do on every play, baseline press and pinch your D-line. You're doing that no matter what setup you're running, but something you could actually do is user this slot cornerback if you wanted to. Now, like I said, I don't like to user the 3 receiver hook. You could user him and just put this player in a vertical hook, but you really want to utilize this zone. It's a super good zone. But yeah, so you have your strong safety in a curl flat, you have your linebacker in a curl flat, and you're just going to user this player. This kind of works out well because you want to user to the bunch side anyways. You want to use your corner outs, things of that nature, and you guys see it's just another way to buff blitz, another way to confuse your opponent, especially if he has identifier. He's going to see you using different players, and it might just throw him off a little bit. But again, that's the other setup. I'll talk about it one last time. Just going to put your user, this corner, in a vert hook. You could shade over the top. And yeah, this is a very simple setup. If you're not very experienced, this is a setup I recommend going to. But look at that 3 rec hook, defending the corner out, defending that deep post as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the second setup. Again, a very brief setup. Now, it's not one that I personally like to go with myself. But the next setup is going to be pretty similar to the first one we went over. Now, this is probably my favorite setup, the one that I like to go to the most. Now, what you're going to do is set it up pretty similar to the first one like I mentioned. You're going to put this player in a curl flat, but what you're going to do differently here is you're going to put your strong safety, you're going to put him in an inside third. And then what you can do is put this player in a hook curl just like that. We have our user on the free safety. So that's just a simple way. You take your user from the strong safety and now he's on the free safety. Simple little difference between the plays. And again, you could just throw off your opponent by doing something like that. Obviously, if you're running the play flipped, just everything is vice versa. But let's go ahead, hike the ball here. You guys see you can lurk things on the left a lot easier if that's what you want to do. And the good thing is that if they're trying to throw something to the right, the 3 rec hook, since it's already on the right side, should do a pretty great job of bagging all those quick reads that he wants to go to. So again, that setup is baseline press, pinch your defensive line, put your slot corner in a curl flat, put your strong safety in an inside third, and just put this player in a hook curl. We're using him, so it doesn't really matter what zone he's in. Again, you could shade underneath over the top if you're more of a cloud flat person, or you could just shade straight up over the top. Something I like to do also is I actually kind of like to move this player down, like right here. I feel like that's just good. He's going to lurk those routes. You guys see we get that pressure, but pretty much the thing I want to talk about is that everything is completely backed. So what I'm going to do here, set up that defense once again, baseline press, pinch D-line. I'm just going to spy these DNs so you guys can see that the coverage really does go crazy. So again, set it up like this. We're shading over the top. We have 2 purples. And yeah, let's just go ahead, snap the ball here. You guys see we sent 3 and we still got instant pressure, but really everything is bagged. Maybe I have to spy both players, so let's just do that. Again, I'm just going to set it up the exact same way. Let's just spy both players so we don't get pressure. We're spying 2 players. And again, if your opponent's rolling out, there's ways to stop that. You can just spy one of those D tackles. But again, let's take a look. Let's snap the ball. Boom. User this player. User him. Look at that 3 rec hook really bagging. We throw the corner out, and you guys see, I meant to bullet it, but we easily can click on and intercept that football. That baseline press to outside third does a really good job of defending the corner routes. And yeah, like I said, you still could go ahead, user him. If you want to use your bunch side, you could go with that slot cornerback setup. But let's hop into yet another setup. Again, these setups are pretty much all similar. It's just really going to differentiate who you're using. So that's pretty much the difference between all of these setups. If you want to use the slot corner, the strong safety, the linebacker, or the free safety. So we have 4 different users. You could always use this player, like I said earlier. But again, we're going to set up the defense the exact same way. But for this one, what you're going to do is you're again going to put this player on an inside third. This player right here, but what you're going to do differently now is you're going to put your free safety here on a curl flat. Now what we have is we have a seam flat and a curl flat on the left. You're simply going to put this player in a mid read or a hook curl, and he's going to be your user, as you guys can tell. So simple cover 3 look out of this. This is just a really good defense, really sound defense, just because although it is basically a stock cover 3, it's better because of this 3 receiver hook. I know I've talked about it a lot. You guys are probably getting sick of hearing about it, but it is such a great zone, and it just really does put in a ton of work for you guys, and it's really just going to take your stock cover 3 defense to the next level. I know that you're making a couple of additional adjustments, but I think it is worth it in the long run. So again, we're pinching that D-line, baseline press, slot corner in a curl flat, free safety in a curl flat, and your strong safety in an inside third. Put this player in a hook curl, and let's go ahead, hike the ball, boom, using everything. They throw something, everything is absolutely bagged. And if you have good defensive linemen, you should be able to get pretty good pressure out of this formation. But yeah, one last setup that I'm going to go over. This is again another complicated setup. But what you're going to do is put LB in a curl flat, put A in an inside third. So this is sort of the setup where we're using the free safety. But for this setup, you're going to use the linebacker again. What you're going to do here is basically put your free safety deep half, and put your left corner in a cloud flat. This is pretty much going to be a cover 3 cloud. The difference is that you have a vert hook. So again, this is something you could really mix it up, and obviously he's not going to be able to go with a cover 3 beater from the other side. You guys see all the routes are bagged, and yeah, I'm not going to talk about that one too much because I've gone over that setup out of a couple different plays. I personally like going with that cover 3 cloud out of a cover 2 shell rather than the cover 3, but you guys see it is still easy to run it out of the cover 3 shell. But that's going to go ahead and do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you leave a like on the video, show your support to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well for some more Madden 20 tips. Also, let me know in the comments what kind of videos you would like to see soon. If there's anything you're struggling with, let me know in the comments, and I will try to get a video up on whatever you guys are struggling with. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace. I'm out of here.